This is what happens when a narcissist realizes you no longer want them. As empaths and chosen ones, we must get to the point where we no longer desire the narcissist's return. It's crucial to physically, spiritually, and mentally distance ourselves from them, as they have devalued us, sullied our reputation, and brought us down to their level. This requires shaping our brains, souls, hearts, and minds to eliminate any desire for their return. The author reiterates the importance of the no-contact rule to achieve this. However, let's say we've reached the point where we genuinely don't want the narcissist back in our lives. They may extend a hand with a vacuum or introduce themselves, but we must stand firm and reject any communication with them. We may convey this by saying, "I woke up and realized you're a narcissist, the devil himself. I have no desire to have contact with you. Seek out alternative vendors, but I don't care about you or your identity." You can say something like, "I wouldn't touch you with a pole, but any form of rejection will suffice." While it's important to reject the narcissist, the author does not condemn cruel or harmful language towards them. Simply saying no and rejecting them is enough to hurt them. It's crucial to remember that they deserve rejection, and by doing so, we regain our power and protect ourselves. As empaths and chosen ones, we must get to the point where we no longer desire the narcissist's return. Physical, spiritual, and emotional separation from them is essential since they have diminished our worth, tarnished our name, and pulled us down to their level. This requires shaping our brains, souls, hearts, and minds to eliminate any desire for their return. The author reiterates the importance of the no-contact rule to achieve this. Let's assume, though, that we've come to the realization that we honestly don't want the narcissist back in our life. They may extend a hand with a vacuum or introduce themselves, but we must stand firm and reject any communication with them. We may convey this by saying, "I woke up and realized you're a narcissist, the devil himself. I'm not interested in talking to you. Seek out alternative vendors, but I don't care about you or your identity." You can say something like, "I wouldn't touch you with a pole, but any form of rejection will suffice." While it's important to reject the narcissist, the author does not condone cruel or harmful language towards them. Simply saying no and rejecting them is enough to hurt them. It's crucial to remember that they deserve rejection, and by doing so, we regain our power and protect ourselves. Initially, I shared my goals and aspirations for the future with my partner and invited them to join me if they were intrigued. However, I realized that if we were unable to reach an agreement, it must be God's will. When they refused to acknowledge my attempts to find closure, I felt compelled to write an email to them. Unfortunately, they prevented me from reaching a conclusion, and I eventually ceased communication with them, assuming they could sense that I was doing better. I was not aware at the time that they were hacking my phone, though. As I typed out emails or accessed YouTube, they monitored me, revealing the extent of their surveillance. Whether through access to a shared Gmail account or partner hacking applications, they had complete access to my actions and thought process. The narcissist's craftiness and pathological behavior were evident in the t-shirt they gave me labeled hack, which they found amusing. Nonetheless, when they understand that they are no longer welcome in your life, as expressed in my email to them, they will likely back off. I've been upfront with my feelings towards them, making it plain regardless of which way they choose to take it. I've exposed their illogical thinking and mocked them for their actions. One of these actions was hacking me because I used a dating app. They went as far as joining the dating app and viewing my profile, utilizing an all-seeing iPhoto as their profile picture to signify their vigilant eye watching over me. Despite all the slander and mistreatment I endured from them, they now want me back, as their Hoover attempts indicate. However, I ignored their advances and moved on. Coming to the conclusion that I didn't want them back in my life marked a significant milestone in my journey. It was a defining and liberating moment. In the past, we spent months or even years desiring their return to our lives. However, I now believe that allowing them back into our lives to solve problems is a futile effort that consumes too much time and energy. I have faith in the universe and God that if you have any inclination towards wanting them back, you will eventually reach a point where you no longer do. I promise you this. Don't fret if you're watching this video and still desire your former partner's return. I've been where you are and understand how challenging it can be. In my case, it took me 6 years to recover from my narcissistic relationship before sharing my story online. Beginning as a simple post, it ultimately led me to become a YouTuber, as YouTube is currently my interest. I prefer helping others avoid narcissistic relationships rather than risking another one myself. Trust me when I say that eventually, you won't desire your former partner's return, resulting in a change in energy. They'll be compelled to chase you once the dynamic has shifted, and you've asserted your authority by communicating that you don't want them back. You could find yourself in an unexpected role as a friend. Therefore, it's best to interact with them using minimal expression, following their lead. We must adjust our approaches to their attitudes and emotions while keeping ours in check to maintain the power dynamic. I was clueless about the level of self-absorption Nemo was capable of until I uttered her name. I didn't even know about narcissists at that time. However, when I found out that my phone was hacked, I noticed self-involved posts on my feed. Watching a video, I knew they were monitoring me, forging a bond that helped me feel closer to the group. I became aware of their watchful eyes on me, leading me to communicate in unconventional ways. I was studying for my driving theoretical test when I encountered strange images on my screen. As I'm not tech-savvy, the fact that they managed to hack my device astounded me. I've deviated from my initial discussion, but the critical point is that freeing ourselves from wanting them back is the most self-loving and healing thing we could do. In conclusion, if we no longer desire their return, we will take a significant step towards our well-being. We possess every right to notify the narcissist that we're cutting ties, even if they were the ones who ended things. I urge you to communicate to them that they must stop contacting you. It's hard to believe I invested so much time following you. You're not worth anyone's time, you dusty freak. Share everything about yourself with them, without holding back. Remember the proverb, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. Block them, then block them again, deleting them from all your devices. This approach is effective, since the narcissist needs to learn that they made a mistake by dealing with you. As empathetic people, we have the right to speak our minds, even though I understand some may disagree with me in the comments section. Criticism is powerful when it comes from within our rights. I realize that the narcissist won't heed our advice, but we must express ourselves nonetheless. It's vital to be aware of the narcissist's manipulative tendencies and their ability to shift their objectives. However, expressing ourselves doesn't imply investing our emotional energy into the exchange. Instead, we're coming from a place of genuine self-expression, telling them emphatically that their return is unwelcome. We won't allow them to reject us. We'll take the final call if we're the ones left standing. If the narcissist attempts to hoover you, it's best to politely decline and repeatedly reject their proposal. However, if the narcissist either discards you or pushes you past your limits, forcing you to push them away, don't believe that they are serious. They are only luring you into providing them with supply, intensifying their supply acquisition efforts. These individuals cherish both positive and negative energy. They relish every ounce of energy thrown their way. They are insatiable beings, always seeking more. They adore it all, and must indeed love it all. If we can unequivocally communicate that they are unwelcome in our lives, our immediate vicinity, or any other spheres, it's potent. If you have children together, employ the grey rock technique to articulate your position. Please talk to me only regarding the kids. I prefer not to interact with you any further and refrain from mentioning anything else. Please do not buy me anything for any occasions such as Mother's Day, Father's Day, or my birthday. Also, avoid any indirect attempts to monitor me. Telling others to keep to themselves while we do the same is as effective as throwing it all away. We must deliver a fitting response to the narcissist, who cause us so much agony and distress. It's crucial to inform them that this is a significant milestone on the road to recovery. Both of us have experienced the surprise of a Hoover attempt, leaving us utterly stunned and off guard. I used to peruse social media to stay informed about others' activities. But this incident caught me entirely by surprise, taking me some time to realize that it was, in fact, a Hoover. They tend to come in a tsunami-like fashion, leaving us bewildered. The revelation that I was being hoovered came as a shock to me. Prioritize this fact. You've probably experienced being targeted by a hoover before, and if you neglected to reciprocate, you may have hurt their ego. Thus, we must make them experience the most severe narcissistic pain possible by outrightly rejecting them. Let's abandon them and their newly acquired resources in their broken universe. They will have to derive pleasure from it if that's what they want to do for the rest of their lives. We must ensure that the narcissist understands that they can never contact us again if we want to achieve wholeness and cultivate self-love. This is the most effective and liberating step one can take. When we make it clear that they are cut off, the narcissist has an epiphany. It dawns on them that they cannot win us back, which shifts the power dynamic. They will chase us, and we will regain their adulation and admiration. This development is crucial for our recovery process. However, just by being entertaining, we can inflict self-harm and great damage to their sense of self-importance. This is a part of the healing journey. As empathetic people, we tend to harm ourselves automatically. We have already caused plenty of damage to our own egos, and we need to take some time for self-reflection. Let us take responsibility for these wounds. They played a significant role in the narcissist's decision to discard us. If interested, I have started a new channel that covers spiritual growth and recovery topics that complement the ones discussed here. I appreciate your support and encourage you to like and subscribe to my newly created channel. The link is in the description box, and if you haven't already, check out my previous video. I had some random thoughts that I didn't share here because they didn't match the channel's theme or content expectations. I apologize if I have spoiled your viewing experience. However, thank you for viewing. I do appreciate you watching though. Please read the details in the description field if you are considering a private session. Stay tuned for my upcoming video, and as always, have a pleasant day.